Morning, everyone. Josh here, Solopreneur Grind, and it is the SG Daily episode number 42 for Thursday, April the 18th. And I'm still thrown off a little bit out of my routine here. No J Mug at home for the week, as you can see here, home for the holidays. And I hope your week's going well. We're sticking to the theme of the week, which is content creation. And it's been top of mind, although I couldn't do much of it yesterday because there was a whole bunch of client work that came in. So sometimes there's only so much you can do. I talked a little bit yesterday about how you can quite easily be thrown off of your routine and your content creation. But the key is to have it in place in the first place, because the way that I've been able to easily kind of streamline my content creation is having a rock solid routine. So doing the same thing every day. And it's not even a question. It's not a question of, should I do this? Should I post this on Facebook? Should I post on Instagram? What time should I do it at? It's on your schedule or it's part of your routine, and you just do it without question. So I highly recommend, if you're looking to post more, you're not happy with how much content you're putting out. Most of us probably aren't putting out enough, myself included. Then what you want to do is make sure to have it as a part of your routine, part of your schedule, all that good stuff. Now, putting it into your routine, I think, is the easiest way. But even if it's in your routine, if you get thrown off your routine or you have some other things come in. So for example, Tuesday and Wednesday, I had a whole bunch of client work come in through my law firm. So like the main hustle, which is obviously a good thing, but I wish it would have been spread out a little bit. But when you have 3-4 clients come in with work within the same day or two, it's not ideal again, but hey, that's kind of how business operates, right? You don't have a choice of when clients send your stuff. It's kind of the grind. So you might have to adjust on the fly. So what did I do? Well, sometimes you do have to cut stuff, right? So if you have a whole bunch of stuff to get done, you still want to do the big stuff. So there's different types of content that you're putting out, right? So the big stuff, for example, for me, the bigger pieces of content are the SG Daily every week or every day of the week. This is a 5 to 7 minute video. So that would be considered, a bigger piece of content. And what I've liked to do recently as well is create a sound snippet from the daily and post it to Instagram and Facebook. And that takes a little bit of time because you do have to produce it, right? I have to find which part of the daily I want to use. It's like a 30-second quote, edit it down to that, put it over a visual, add the captions, add the sound wave. So that obviously takes time. And the other thing is my podcast, right? So 30 to 40 minute podcast. Now, how I record that is kind of random, right? Because it depends on the guests, when they're available, when I'm available, when we can record. But in terms of actually posting it, I have it on my calendar. So every Tuesday, Thursday, 4 p.m., I have podcast production put into my schedule. So I'll edit it, I'll cut the clip, I'll touch up the audio, I'll create the description, I'll throw it up on where I host it on Podbean and post it so it gets pushed to everywhere, iTunes, Stitcher, all that stuff, before I share it. So where am I getting at? With these big pieces of content, the podcast, the SG data that take more than, let's say, 5 minutes, you want to have them in your routine or your calendar so that you always get them done, because those are very important pieces of content. So I haven't been home this week, but usually the first thing I do every morning, Monday to Friday, is the SG Daily. So I open the laptop and that's the first thing I do because, some extra work might come in. I might not have the same energy. Emergencies might pop up later in the day. I know I'm going to get it done anyways. The SG Daily snippet that I was talking about is top of mind as well at that moment. So I do it right after. And I've talked about switching costs in a previous daily, but if I might as well do it at that moment in time, because I throw up the SG Daily on YouTube, on the audio goes to my podcast, and then what I'll quickly do right after that is I'll listen to it again, pick out the 30-second snippet, and make the post that's related to that for Instagram and Facebook. Because if I wait for later in the day, I know something else is going to come up. I'm going to fall behind. Client calls come in, whatever. And the SG Daily won't be as top of mind later in the day. So I won't maybe have that 30-second clip top of mind. I might have to re-listen to it again, get back into that mindset. So there's that switching costs of, while you're on task for one thing, you might as well do the related things. So what are the takeaways? Number one, I like to do the important or big pieces of content first thing in the morning or scheduled on the calendar. So SGDLA I do first thing in the morning. Podcast production, I have it set twice a week. It's in my calendar. It gets done at those times specifically. The other thing is you can batch content creation together that are related. So if I'm doing the SG Daily in the morning and then I'm posting on Instagram that's directly related, I do them together because it's top of mind. I might as well cover them at the same time. If you follow me on Instagram at Solopreneur Grind, you'll see that I have some quote posts as well. It's just like a picture of a little quote and which podcast guest said it. And I've outsourced the creation of those. And those are really quick posts, right? Because all I have to do is pick the picture, add a little caption, and hit post. So it's much quicker. The good thing about this is I can save this for later in the day because it's less brain power. It takes me, 3 to 4 or 5 minutes. Maybe I'm more tired. I had a busy day. The brain's kind of fried from doing client work for my firm. That's a much easier post to do later in the day because it's less time consuming. And it just makes more sense, right? If you think about it logically, makes sense with your energy levels, with your schedule, with batching things together that are related. So if you think about it, you should be doing this type of content creation every day. I do it 5 days a week, at least, right? With the SG Dailies 5 days a week. But over the span of a month or a year, that's a lot of time on creating content, right? So on a day-to-day basis, it may just be saving you a couple seconds or minutes by by doing it intelligently. But if you map this over the span of a year or two, you're going to save a lot of time and a lot of brain energy and general energy, right? Because of all that goes into it. So those are my thoughts for Thursday. Tomorrow is Good Friday. It's a holiday here in Canada. I'm still going to do the SG Daily because I'll still be working on the Friday. Make sure to tune in and let me know your thoughts on whether you like the daily, any feedback. Feel free to throw a comment. And if you have any suggestions for themes of the week for next week, let me know. Josh at solopreneurgrind.com. Always happy to hear feedback. And other than that, don't forget the like, subscribe buttons. Hope the week's going well. And if you are taking tomorrow off, happy holidays. And I will see you tomorrow, whether you watch or not. Take care.